Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos. I'm going to start this project off with this flat 8x10 canvas from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to start by putting a quick coat of light buttermilk paint all over the whole entire canvas. And this is just going to prime it for my next step. Once I have it all painted and it's dry, I'm going to take this napkin that I got on Amazon. And I used this in a project before, and I'm going to use the same one, which is the Witch. And I'm just using my water pen, which you can get at Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. And I'm just kind of pulling apart the edges on it and pulling out that design. And then I'm going to go around the edges and sort of feather them. So I'm just putting some of the water on and then just kind of pulling it with my finger and pulling off some of the excess napkin just so that it's not squared. And I'm going to do that around the whole napkin. Once I have that all cut out the way I want, I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to put some in just the center of the canvas. So just going to put a good coat right there in the center. And then I'm going to lay my napkin down. Once I have it laid down and it's centered, I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper after I'm done pressing it down with my fingers, and then I just kind of rubbed over it. And then I let that fully dry. So here it is all dry. Now I'm going to go around the edges with some black paint. I didn't do this far enough when I did it this time, so if I was to do it again, I would go all the way to the edges with the black. But right now I'm just going around the napkin. And I had wished that before I put this all together that I had done this all the way to the edges. While that was drying, I'm going to take an 8x10 stretch canvas from Dollar Tree and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fill the back side with Mod Podge. And then I am going to use this black paper with orange dots and I'm going to lay that inside. So I'm just putting down a good coat of Mod Podge, making sure that I don't miss any spots because this is a busted canvas and we're going to cut this and we're going to have to fold it. So we want to make sure that this paper is stuck really well. So once I have that good coat of Mod Podge in there, I'm going to lay that paper down and then just press it out with my fingers, kind of arranging it where it needed to be. And then I'm just going to keep pressing on it until it's fully adhered. And then I did apply some heat to it and pressed it at the same time with my fingers, and that got rid of the rest of the wrinkles. So once I had that part done, I'm going to go around the edges and I'm going to paint those all black. And this is just going to give time for that Mod Podge on that paper to dry as well. So just going around, making sure I get all those edges with the black. Once those were dry, I'm going to take this paper from Hobby Lobby and I'm going to Mod Podge that to the front of the canvas. So I'm just going to put another good coat of Mod Podge on here and then lay that paper down and again smooth it out with my hands. So I'm doing another really good coat of this because again, like I said, we're going to cut it. So making sure that that's nice and covered and I'm not missing any pieces. And then I'm going to lay that paper down. And I love this paper. It's like the perfect Halloween paper, especially for a vintage project. So I'm just smoothing that out with my hands and then I'm going to let that fully dry just as is. Once it was fully dry, I'm going to take my sander and I'm going to sand off whatever excess I had around the edges. I'm just going to go around the whole thing and make sure that I got all of that excess paper off. Once I got all that excess paper off, I'm going to take my applicator and add some black paint around the edges, cover up that white from sanding, but also to blend the paper with the edges of the canvas that we already painted black. And I'm kind of putting a little bit on the edges of the paper as well. Just going around the whole thing, doing that. Once everything was fully dry, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to start cutting my canvas. So I'm just going to cut down, up, across from side to side, and then from corner to corner. So just kind of cutting from the center all the way out to all the edges. And get those nice cuts. Doesn't really matter. They don't have to be perfect because we're going to roll them up anyway. So you're not really going to tell how well or how not well you cut. So get those all cut out. And then I just kind of push to make sure that they were all cut. Next, I'm going to flip my canvas over. And I'm going to add my back piece, so the flat canvas to the back. I'm just making sure that it's a good fit. And then I'm going to hot glue that onto the back side of this. So I'm just going to run a nice strip of glue all the way around, making sure to get all the little spots. and then lay that canvas on there. And you can cover the back side of this too. I just didn't really want to waste the paper. Or you could paint it all black. That's totally up to you too. So once I got that on there, I'm going to start rolling up my canvas and just kind of getting it started. Making sure that my design was in the center and I did everything right on the first few steps. And then I can start gluing them down. And just kind of rolling them. Making sure that you're not wrinkling the paper too much. You can kind of smooth it out with your hands as you're doing it. And I think this is turning out so cute. I love the napkin and the vintage look and the paper all kind of flowing together. And again, just going all the way around and gluing them in place. And I just love this polka dot paper mixed with that other scrapbook paper. It just looks so pretty. So once I have those pieces all glued, I'm going to go around, and as you can see, the back side was still white on that canvas that we glued on. So I'm just going to use my applicator here and add some black paint, and then I use my paintbrush to get inside of the edges. Just kind of make everything flow together. Then I also went around on the front where I've rolled the canvas up, and I kind of just touched up the white from the paper on the edges of that also. I wanted everything to flow together and be cohesive and not be able to see any bright white sticking out anywhere. So I went around all the edges of those. And I just used a little paintbrush and just kind of dabbed it on. Then finally, I took these two spiders from Dollar Tree. I put a little bit of glue at the bottom of them, and then I'm going to kind of lay them on the corner here up over the rolls, and I did that on both sides. And that is it. This project is finished. I think this turned out so super cute, and I love vintage Halloween. It's definitely one of my favorites, and this has that vibe. If I had anything I would do different, I would probably add some glitter around the napkin in orange, or some black glitter would be really cute. And I think I still might get some of that spider web from Dollar Tree and add that around the canvas as well. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to make one. And as always, don't forget to spread the chaos.